Stratford-upon-Avon Canal was constructed in fits and starts between 1793 and 1816. It's 25.5 miles long and runs from Kings Norton on the southern fringes of Birmingham to Stratford at the heart of Shakespeare country. This 13-mile walk along the southern section is from Stratford to Kingswood Junction, where there's a short link to the Grand Union. Although boasting some notable features, this canal's importance is that it's still here for us to enjoy. This is because by the 1940s the southern section below Kingswood Junction was unnavigable and faced permanent closure, while the northern section wasn't faring too much better. It was campaigning by the newly formed Inland Waterways Association and Stratford Canal Society that won the day and saved a very quiet and mostly rural canal with its 55 locks and unique structures from being consigned to history, and in the process provided a blueprint for other canal restorations. The canal reached Stratford in June 1816, delivering black country coal to a town which sent back agricultural produce in return. By 1845, the two basins at Bancroft were handling 50,000 tonnes of coal to be used locally or distributed elsewhere by tramway over what is now the pedestrian bridge, or by river along the Avon. But competition from the Worcester and Birmingham Canal, which boasted a more direct route to the River Severn and the railways, would eventually lead to the southern section's demise. By the turn of the century, the original Shakespeare Memorial Theatre had been built, and Bancroft Gardens had replaced one of the basins. We'll start at the river lock that links the canal with the Avon, walking between Bancroft Gardens and the remaining basin. It was here that the Queen Mother formally reopened the canal in 1964. In its heyday, this was a busy, industrious scene. Today, the basin offers tourists pleasure trips and ice creams. It's an inauspicious start ducking under Bridge Street, going past some moorings and then onto Stratford Bottom Lock. A tight squeeze for both walkers and boaters, but eventually you come up for air at the top lock. This winding hole served One Elm Lime Works, and a little further on the towpath side were the old gasworks. These may have gone, but this is still the side of Stratford that tourists tend not to come to visit. Due to a long-standing dispute, the next stretch of towpath is officially off limits, and you can see why, as there's a generous amount of ducking and diving required to reach Bishopton Lock. Leaving Stratford behind, a spar was set up near Challybeat Bridge in the 1830s, as the local spring waters were said to contain a healthy amount of iron. It failed, but some buildings remain on the towpath side. Next up is the northern bypass before the start of the Wilmcote flight of 11 locks. To save money, all the locks on the southern section are narrow locks. The flight is well maintained and there's a wide tarmac towpath as you start to climb 77 feet over the next mile. At Bridge 61 there's a side that will become very familiar, cast iron split bridge. Conscious to keep construction costs at a minimum, these cantilever bridges have a gap in the middle where the tow rope can be threaded through. No unharnessing of the horse was required, saving the boatman time, and as there's no towpath, the bridge can be kept as narrow as possible, saving the canal owners money. They have come to characterise the Stratford Canal as much as lift bridges on the Oxford. This boat is just leaving Lock 40, which is Wilmcote Top Lock. You continue through pleasant countryside past Wilmcote village where Shakespeare's mother lived to Featherbed Bridge. As the nearby plaque indicates, in 1957 to reduce the cost of building a new bridge, the council sought the abandonment of the South Stratford Canal. The Stratford Canal Society and IWA rescued the day and eventually the canal. Through more bucolic quietness with only sheep for company, next stop is the first of 3 cast iron aqueducts. This is Edstone Aqueduct, the longest of them all, indeed the longest on the English canal system of 475 feet. With 14 arches and 35 sections bolted together, it stretches over river, road and rail. During the years that GWR owned the canal, steam engines used to stop underneath to take on water. As with the other 2 aqueducts, you are level with the bottom of the canal as you walk across. After taking a break and wondering why there's more boats in this field than on the canal at this point, look out for the GWR sign on Change Line Bridge. You'll see others at Dix Lane Bridge and Wootton Warren. Hill Farm Marina opened 200 years after the Edstone Aqueduct. It's got room for 50 boats, and the restaurant on top of the hill has great views of the surrounding countryside. You then reach Wootton Warren Aqueduct, carrying the canal over just one road this time. And there's a path down to the Navigation pub. Continue to walk through leafy and quiet countryside. There are the usual split bridges, and at Preston Bagot Middle Lock you come across the first, much extended, barrel-roofed lockkeeper's cottage. Again, in order to save money, these cottages were easy to construct, with cross ties securing the walls, using techniques navvies learned from building canal bridges and tunnels. The build-up of silt prevents one of the top lock's gates from fully opening, which is the reason why this boat and others regularly get stuck and need the help of a barge pole. There's another cottage at Bucket Lock, just before Yarningdale Aqueduct. The original wooden aqueduct was washed away in an 1834 flood, and it was replaced by this cast iron structure. Probably cast like the others at the Horsley Works in Tipton, with renovated brickwork courtesy of convicts from Winson Green Prison in the 1960s. Between Clevedon Top Lock and the Lowsonford Lock 32, you're treated to some beautiful Warwickshire countryside. At Lock 31 there's another Lensman's cottage. This one has been refurbished and is available to rent. You pass, or quite possibly stop, to have lunch at the 16th century Fleur-de-Lys pub, which is famous for its pies. Look out for the plaque at Rowington Lock 30. This dates from when the National Trust had responsibility for the restoration and maintenance of the southern section. You'll pass the remains of a railway bridge which carried the Henley and Arden branch of the GWR, and then a rather dilapidated barrel-roof cottage at Rowington Lock 28. Silence is then shattered by the M40 at Lapworth Bottom Lock, with its cute footbridge. It doesn't take long for the canal's rural charm and calm ambience to be re-established. The lock and bridge at Dix Lane is accompanied by a much extended but very recognisable cottage. Continuing along Lapworth Locks, you get to the end of the southern section at Kingswood Junction, with its all-important 275-yard link to the Grand Union. The canal arrived here in 1802, and disputes over water with the Warwick and Birmingham Canal have created a rather over-elaborate mix of locks and channels around the original basin. It would be another 10 years before work started on the southern section, and not until 1816 that coal could be delivered by water to the town of Stratford. Check out my other walks along the Grand Union, Oxford Canal and Birmingham Canal navigations. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon on another towpath.